Hello everyone, I'll be going over some gaming news in this video. Blizzard news to be exact. The release date for World of Warcraft Classic servers was announced and it will be August 27th. Not that long left now. The closed beta for it is already live, but in order to have a chance to participate, you have to log into your account, go to beta opt-in settings and check the box for WoW Classic. Now, people have been ragging on Jalen Beck quite a bit for his infamous statement, "You think you want it, but you don't." And while some of the backlash is deserved, I don't think he was completely wrong. Now, before you pull out the pitchforks, hear me out here. After all, I have been playing World of Warcraft since vanilla, and I've only stopped playing in Battle for Azeroth. Over time, since World of Warcraft launched, it had over 100 million unique players if Blizzard is to be believed. So out of all those, a few million would definitely be interested in classic servers. The real question is, how many of those will still be playing after a few months? Sure, there are definitely some hardcore fans who will play it forever, but most of those who long to play vanilla have most likely forgotten the tediousness and the grind. After all, that's how nostalgia works. You remember the good things, not the bad. So once the nostalgia effect wears off in a few months, I am willing to bet that the number of people interested will drop significantly. And what is this? Breaking news from the classic beta servers. People are reporting bugs that were in fact part of the game back then, such as turn hitbox and melee range being larger, while your health regen being pretty close to zero. Yeah, you better bring some food. And no more quest tracking. Available quests and their objectives will not be shown on the minimap. Well, you wanted classic, didn't you? That's the classic experience. Leveling was the primary content of the game, and it was pretty damn hard. It took quite a long time to get to level 60 and then some to get geared enough for raids. Epics didn't drop like candy out of a piñata like they do in the latest expansions. Oh well, we'll just have to wait and see how many people actually thought they wanted, only to figure out that they don't. Some people are wondering if they will add dedicated servers for other expansions. I think they will, and here's why. The reason Blizzard was reluctant at first to make classic servers was the amount of work compared to what they would get out of it. If you remember, the vanilla code was in pretty bad shape, and it took a lot of work to restore it. At the time when the whole classic server discussion started, Blizzard was doing pretty well. Most, if not all of their games were very popular, so they didn't think they could profit much off of classic servers. As time went by though, all their games started to decline, to the point where we are now when they are in massive decline. Let's go down the list. StarCraft 2 is only being kept relevant by the pro scene in esports. Diablo 3 is pretty much on life support. I mean, they can only fool so many people to keep playing their pointless seasons. Same thing with Heroes of the Storm, although I have to say, in my experience, it is the most balanced and accessible MOBA out there. I don't think it deserves to be abandoned. Anyway, Overwatch is in steep decline and so is Hearthstone, and World of Warcraft's latest expansion, Battle for Azeroth, is called the worst one ever for a good reason. The amount of people still playing the game shows it. Sure, we don't have any real numbers, gee, I wonder why Blizzard refuses to release them, but anyone still playing who isn't a complete shill will tell you that the game is really dying. To sum it all up, since they have no new games to launch anytime soon, you can bet they will make servers for every expansion so they can milk fans dry. Now you know why the price of in-game services is still absurdly high. I mean, 25 euros for a damn race change? That's just fucking greedy. I've been saying it for years and I will keep saying it. These types of microtransactions, if you can even call them micro, with a dozen mounts in store for 25 euros each, well, they don't belong in a subscription-based game. If the game was free to play, then sure, by all means, go to town with cosmetic items for sale, but since they do charge a subscription fee and a premium price for each expansion, there should be no items available for real money, and those game services should cost a fraction of what they do. The sad reality is that the Blizzard we once knew is dead. I couldn't tell you when the time of death was exactly, but I do know that the cancer that is Activision has completely ravaged Blizzard and nothing remains of it but an empty husk. No wonder all the people who made Blizzard great have left. Anyway, let's get some more actual news in. Hearthstone has just released a new adventure, and it costs 20 euros. Well, isn't that interesting? All the previous Gauntlet type modes they kept releasing with the last 4 expansions were all free. And had better been. With 3 expansions and 405 cards to get per year, anyone who is serious about the game needs to sink in quite a small fortune to get all the important cards. That or play 24/7. So why is this game mode suddenly costing money? I mean, I get that we receive a few card packs with it, but let's face it, it's just a way to force people to spend more money on the game, and to be honest, I find it disgusting. Wake up, Blizzard. People are leaving the game because they can't keep up with 3 expansions per year. You got greedy as fuck and you drove players away. And what do now? You nickel and dime the remaining players because after all, they must have more money than sense if they're still playing this sore excuse for a game. This isn't a game anymore. It was at the beginning, when the new players actually had a chance to play the game properly without spending a fortune on card packs, but now it's just a cash milking machine. For those who are blinded by their loyalty to a company that exists in name only now, and those who have a gambling addiction. Players should wake up too. The CEOs of Blizzard have their hands in your pockets all the way up to their shoulder. You know, I hate needless government regulations, but these greedy bastards have it coming. I can't wait till they ban all these predatory microtransactions. Next up, we have a new patch and season upon us in Diablo 3. The patch does come with a few good things like 3 more torment levels and ancient and primal puzzle rings leading to an upgraded version of the ancient vault. Quite a few items were buffed in turn, buffing the Captain America Crusader build, the Carnival Poison Dart builds for the Witch Doctor, Wizard's Archon build got a small buff to the Chantoro set, while the Necromancer Inarius set got a huge buff. And last but not least buffed the Rapid Fire builds for Demon Hunters. Now don't even get me started on the whole stash tabs debacle. After saying they're giving us 5 more, they ended up just giving 1 and gated behind seasons. For the sake of my own sanity, I'm not going to go over their reasons and how inane they are. Feel free to check the forum thread where all their claims get demolished. I'll include a link in the description and hopefully it doesn't fall under copyright laws since it's a bloody forum. Bottom line, they are doing everything they can to force people to play seasons, which as a new player making your first character I can understand it's well worth it. But after that first character, why would you want to gimp yourself and go to a lot of grind that you can now avoid in non-season play where all your characters are connected? They are just desperately trying to increase their monthly active user numbers. I mean, just look at the season buff we got now. Legacy of the Nightmare set? Really? By the time you can make a build work with that buff, most people will have already unlocked their extra stash tab and stopped playing. I know I will. But that's the thing, isn't it? They're trying to nudge people to keep playing. Now, I know Diablo 3 isn't getting any real updates at this point, but if they actually want to keep people playing, tricks like these aren't the way to go. A small buff and some cosmetic stuff aren't worth the grind that comes with starting fresh. Inconveniencing people isn't content. I know some of you will say that it's pretty easy to level up and the grind isn't as bad as it used to be, but it still takes a lot of time that most people who want to play the game just don't have. If they really want to improve the game, they should just add some more stash for in-game gold and buff all the legendary items that are underpowered so that the build variety is maximized. Oh well, in closing, I'd like to remind everyone that is interested in personally attending this year's BlizzCon that the app Blizzard chose to use this year to sell tickets is provided by the AXS company and is in no uncertain terms spyware. So unless you want some shady company to sell all your data, including full name, precise location, IP address, home address, credit card number and its security code, mailing address, phone number and pretty much everything they can get from you, you should definitely stay away this year. I know it's unfortunately too late for some as they already sold a batch of tickets, but it's never too late to raise awareness. Make no mistake, the AXS TOS clearly states that they are allowed to sell your data. So yeah, I hope the money Blizzard got out of using this app was worth losing the trust of their fans. Stay safe and thank you for watching.